Now if he has a Sheltered by Ghost, he will have to pay 2 mana to target our guy. And I mean, what's the chance that he has another one? Can you believe it, guys? 3 Sheltered by Ghosts in the top quarter of his deck. I mean, it's definitely a skill issue. That is definitely a skill issue. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Go with the, again, for I don't know how many times in the videos today, Koma plus Summon Leviathan. Go ahead and bounce all of your creatures back to your hand and finish you off. GG, we got there in the end. Okay, it's going into our turn. So yeah, you are going to have to deal with a Tolarian Terror with Ward 2 and a Koma the World Eater with Ward 4. So good luck with your lightning helixes that are in your hand. Don't think it's going to be helping you out too much right now, buddy. Yeah, I called it as well. 3 damage. He's going up to 27. That is quite a bit. But hey, you're back down to 14, and we get to create 3 Serpent tokens. So yeah, this opponent just got absolutely cooked. Read him like a fiddle and played him like a book, as they say. It's not rocket surgery, guys. GG. Hey there, neighbor. Welcome to another MTG Arena Standard video. Today, we actually have a subscriber requested video. It comes from Link, and he says, I love sea creatures like water animals, tritons, and sea serpents. So if there's even a remotely playable deck with creatures like that, I'd love to play it and see it. So Link, hero of time, big shout out to you. Thanks for giving me that suggestion, and I got you, buddy. Sea serpents and merfolks, water type of creatures, they definitely exist. That is a archetype that you can go with, and instantly when you said that, I thought of one of my favorite cards in Standard right now. Sorry, game froze for a second. But yeah, that is Koma. The World Eater card art looks amazing. For 7 mana, this legendary creature is a serpent, and this spell can't be countered, which is really nice. He has Trample and Ward 4, so that means if the opponent wants to target this creature with a kill spell, for instance, they will have to pay an additional 4 mana to target Koma. And then whenever he deals combat to a player, it doesn't even matter if he just get 1 point of damage through, and he does have Trample, which is really nice. But yeah, when you do deal combat damage to the opponent, you get to create 4 3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Koma's Coil, which you can see right there to the right of Koma. And yeah, that is also a serpent. Card art also looks pretty cool. Looks like there's a massive crashing wave and the world is getting split in half. So Koma, I love that creature. He is green and blue, and since we're going with a sea-themed, like sea creature deck, nearly everything we're playing is blue. There is one other card that's green. I'll get into that one in a second as well. But yeah, we also have the Tolarian Terror. For 7 mana, you get a 5/5 with Ward 2, and you might say, those stats aren't amazing for a 7/7, but this Tolarian Terror, he costs 1 generic mana less to cast for each instant and sorcery in our graveyard, and we do play quite a few instants and sorceries, so it's not crazy that we can get this guy down to a 2 or 3 mana cost. So 2 mana or 3 mana for a 5/5 with Ward 2, that is pretty good stats then. And we can see from his creature type, he is a serpent as well. And then another card that I've been wanting to try out as well, and I think he fits pretty nicely in this deck as well, is Summon Leviathan for 6 mana from the Final Fantasy set. He is an enchantment creature. He is a Leviathan, and when he enters the battlefield, Chapter 1 pops off, and we can see Chapter 1 says return each creature that isn't a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent to its owner's hand. So oftentimes when we cast this Summon Leviathan, we will be bouncing every single creature back to the opponent's hand, and we will be getting to keep all of our creatures with the exception of one, and I'll get into him later. And then yeah, his Chapter 2 and 3 says until the end of the turn, whenever we attack with one of those creature types, and again, that's basically all of the creatures we control, then we will get to draw a card. So that's pretty nice. And he is a 6/6 with Ward 2 himself as well. And yeah, that Chapter 1, I actually want to combo it with something else. I want to try and cast it on the opponent's turn, because then we get to bounce all of their creatures back to them. They'll have no blockers, and then we can attack with at least a 6/6, but hopefully more. And I'll get into that combo a little bit later. Continuing on with our creature types, We have a Merfolk Noble right now. That's Kiora. She's a classic in MTG. Kiora, the Rising Tide for 3 mana. You get a, like I said, Merfolk Noble, and when Kiora enters, you get to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards, and she has the Threshold ability where whenever Kiora attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in our graveyard, we get to create this legendary octopus that is an 8/8 called Scion of the Deep. So again, more sea creature theme right there, and draw 2, discard 2. That's a pretty nice effect as well whenever she enters the battlefield. And then one of the final creatures we have is the Floodpits Drowner for 2 mana. This honestly might be the most popular card that you guys actually do see play in Standard right now. It's from the Duskmourn set. He has Flash, he has Vigilance, he's a Merfolk himself, and when this creature enters, you get to tap down an opponent's creature and put a stun counter on that creature, which is really nice because when it goes into the opponent's upkeep, they first have to remove that stun counter, that creature stays tapped, and then during their next upkeep step is when they can finally untap that creature as well. So that's pretty nice, and then he has the additional ability of paying 2 extra mana, tap this dude, and then shuffle this creature and a creature with a stun counter on it back into their opponent's library. So that is one of our final creatures that we have. But the very last creature that I want to try out today as well is Eluge, the Shoreless Sea for 4 mana. You get a legendary elemental fish, so unfortunately he doesn't fit into that serpent, octopus, merfolk, or Leviathan category. But yeah, Eluge, I've liked this card. I think I've played with it once before when the Bloomborough set came out. He's not the best, but I love his ability. So when Eluge enters, well, first of all, his toughness and power are equal to the number of islands that we control. And then whenever he enters and whenever he attacks, you get to put a flood counter on a land that we control, and then that land becomes an island in addition to its other types. And then on top of that, the first instant and sorcery spell we cast each turn costs 1 blue mana less to cast for each land we control with a flood counter on it. So when we cast Eluge for 4 mana, he's entering the battlefield, we can put a flood counter on a land we control, and then the first instant and sorcery spell we cast costs 1 blue mana less. So then, for instance, Into the Flood Maw, since it costs 1 blue mana less, we can actually cast that card for free, either on our turn right there, if it's turn 4, and we tapped all of our mana to do that. This does cost 1 less, so it's 0 mana to play this. We can either do that on our turn, or we can also do it on the opponent's turn as well. And then the next turn, if we attack with him, get to put a flood counter on another land that we control. So then, for instance, Negate only costs 0 mana. And yeah, it goes on and on. Of course, if you get 3 flood counters, then you can cast a stock up for free, which is amazing. Same with 3 steps ahead. It will cost 1 blue mana less to cast. So then counter target spell only costs 2 mana. Create a token that's a copy of a artifact or creature, only costs 2 mana. Or draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, only costs 1 mana. And that's if we just have 1 flood counter on any of the lands that we control as well. So yeah, Eluge, the last creature that we have. And then, like I said, I'm playing 1 green card because we are playing Koma. And because, like I said, if you guys remember, I want to try and cast the Summon Leviathan on the opponent's turn. And the way that we do that, this card, of course, doesn't have Flash, so we're not able to cast it on the opponent's turn. But with Smuggler's Surprise, I absolutely love this card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction for 1 mana. And then you can go on a spree. You can choose any of the other options there, depending on how much mana you have. The magical number for us is 6 mana, because we're going for the second option then, where you may put 2 creature cards from our hand onto the battlefield. So hopefully we have Summon Leviathan, and I mean ideally a Koma as well. And then on the opponent's end step, so when they're all tapped out, or when they can't cast any more board wipes, or sorcery speed spells, for instance, then we can cast Smuggler's Surprise, and then hopefully put a Summon Leviathan and hopefully a Koma onto the battlefield as well. Get to bounce all of their creatures back to their hand, so they will have no more blockers to play with, and since we're doing this on their end step, they won't be able to play any more creatures out as well. So then we'll have these creatures entering on the opponent's turn. That's when they have Summoning Sickness. When it goes back into our turn, both of these creatures can attack, which, 6 plus 8, 14 damage right there. So if they are at 20 life, they are down to just 6 life, and that is Koma dealing damage to them as well. So then we get to create 4 of those 3/3 tokens as well. So that's usually GG right there. And then, yeah, speaking of the land package, I'm only playing a few islands, but I went with artwork that represented some serpents and sea creatures as well. So we have this one with another eel. I guess that one, this one could be, I guess, no, that one's not Koma. Who is this one? It doesn't really matter. I guess it can be the Tolarian Terror. This island with 2 fish underneath, I guess that's Eluge. This one has an octopus, another sea serpent as well, and then the one Greenland we have as well. Look at that little serpent in the grass right there. So yeah, land package, also trying to fit the creature theme as well. And then some of the other lands we have, Botanical Sanctum can add green or blue, but it's not an island. Same with Restless Vinestalk, can add green or blue, but it's not an island. Willow Rush Verge, it can add blue primarily, which is nice because every single spell in our deck is essentially blue, and it can add green if we control a forest or an island. But again, this thing is not an island, and same with Fountain Port. Really, really good utility land. It's colorless, of course, but a lot of great options, and oftentimes you can create a fish token as well, so also fits with the theme of the deck a little bit as well. But then the nice thing is Eluge, he puts a flood counter. You can choose any of these lands that we have, and they will become an island in addition to their other types as well. So yeah, I've been rambling long enough. That is the creature, sea serpent, merfolk deck that we're going with today. Let's just jump into some games, see how it does. All right, guys, opponent goes first, but we do have Smuggler's Surprise and Koma, so I can dig it. Oh, we're playing against another blue player, so they might be holding a lot of counter spells, but we see a Mockingbird. That's pretty interesting. For right now, we'll get down the Botanical Sanctum. Next turn, we'll have a Negate available to us. Okay, opponent, not on mono blue. Oh my gosh, guys, we drew the Summon Leviathan. This is literally game 1, so fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get up there. Like I said, we have Negate available. Screaming Nemesis. Yikes, if this guy is playing a ton of creature cards, then there is nothing to negate. So... oh, and we're just drawing the lands. No. For 2 mana. Next turn, we'll get down the Fountain Port. Ooh, Urbrast Forge. That is a nice counter. You don't need that card. And then we'll be up to 4. This one's 5. Are we dead by then, though? We're down to 11. Nothing else from the opponent. Kiora is a great draw right now. Draw 2, then discard 2. We can get rid of 1 Tolarian Terror. And I guess the forest. 2, 4. Ooh, I actually maybe should have kept the forest. Okay, we can't block. All right, it becomes tapped. We're taking 4 damage right now and then 5 damage the turn after that. So we really need to draw a land. We do. So next turn, we can get the combo down. Of course, hopefully he has no other really hasty creature. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 4 more cards in your graveyard, each opponent may sacrifice. I'm fine with that. He goes to attack steps, which I'm fine with. This creature becomes a copy. That's fine. All right. It's our turn. Fountain Port, that's fine. We're going to go into the opponent's turn. I mean, he could have counter magic. I mean, he could have a negate right now as well since he has 2 mana available. He could also just have a burn spell. That would be really sad. We see a land. Goes to attack step, so we're going for it right now. He keeps 2 creatures back, but it doesn't matter. Put 2 of them onto the battlefield. So, yeah, Koma and the Summon Leviathan. Chapter 1 pops off. Return everyone back to their hand. But, yeah, he can still play them right now. And, I mean, yeah, Screaming Nemesis, if we just deal any damage to it, he can launch 3 damage to our face. So, yeah, that is where you really want to get the combo on their end step right there. But, yeah, unfortunately, we could draw a Into the Flood Maw. Goes with the Silent Creeper. I mean, we do get to draw a card. So, yeah, I really hope we can find the Into the Flood Maw. No, we didn't. That is unfortunate. Oh, wait, but we can't flash this one in, actually. Tap down the Screaming Nemesis. But he still just gets to make a copy with the Mockingbird. So yeah, opponent down to 6. We do get to create the tokens. We can play out the Tolarian Terror. But again, he is just going to create a copy of Screaming Nemesis with the Mockingbird. And yeah, if we deal any damage to it, no shot that this guy gave up. Do I not understand this card? You may have this creature enter as a copy of a creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the mana spent to cast this creature. 1 mana. He could have... I don't get why he didn't have the Mockingbird come down as a copy of the Screaming Nemesis, because I'm pretty sure it gets haste then. And then he could just attack with us, because Screaming Nemesis, if you block with any of your creatures, if you do any damage to Screaming Nemesis, they can redirect, or not redirect, they can then launch however much damage you did to that creature to any other target. So it could be a creature, it can also be our life total. So we could have blocked with a 3/3, but he could have launched 3 damage to our face. So I am so surprised that that guy gave up. But yeah, guys, we saw the combo game 1. It got a little bit dicey. We saw a island right away. I thought it was going to be more of a slower game. Actually turned out to be the opposite. This guy came in pretty aggressively, pretty hard. But yeah, all of our creatures really came in clutch there. Kiora allowing us to draw 2, then discard 2. And yeah, the combo with Smuggler Surprise we saw, and he did keep a few creatures back to block with, but it didn't matter. Because we were able to get down Koma and summon Leviathan, and his chapter 1 pops off instantly whenever you cast him. So then return all the creatures back to the opponent's hand. And that's where I said in the deck intro, you really want to be doing this on the opponent's end step, because yeah, he kept all of his mana open, so he was just able to redeploy these creatures. But then we got really lucky that we either drew the Floodpits Drowner, or we just had him in our hand, because we could then tap down the Screaming Nemesis. Yeah, we actually drew this card, I'm pretty sure, from the Chapter 2 of the Summon Leviathan. So, wow, that was a really, really fun game. And yeah, GG to the opponent. All right, guys, opponent goes first. This is a pretty expensive hand, because Summon Leviathan and the Koma, I mean, ideally we want to cast them with the Smuggler Surprise. So, I guess I'll keep it. Pretty risky. Ooh, yeah, this deck, I'm not sure we can beat them, because they go pretty fast with the frogs. And again, the Tolarian Terror, like I said in the deck intro, he costs 7 mana. You get a 5/5. Normally, you can get his cost down quite a bit. I think he fits better in other decks where they just play a ton of really cheap, like, counter spells and, like, draw spells and stuff like that. So that's how you reduce the cost of Tolarian Terror. And our deck, yeah, we're playing more creatures, so we'll go ahead and flash this guy in. Tap down their Mist Breath Elder. And the opponent just plays that one. That's fine. Exile a creature you control and then return it. All right, that's fine. Stock Up is a really nice draw. I think I will honestly go with the Stock Up. We really need to hit a land, which we see right there. That one will come in tapped. Doesn't matter, though. Yeah, I don't think it matters, so we'll take this one. And for sure, you guys already know, we're taking Smuggler Surprise. And then we can keep this guy back to block. Gets a +1. And we have the Summon Leviathan and Koma in our hand again. So yeah, we just need to survive up to turn 6. Which, this one definitely looks like we'll be able to do that. The opponent... I mean, I don't want to say he isn't aggressive, because this Mist Breath Elder can definitely grow out of control really, really quickly. I think I'm okay taking 3 damage right now. Alright guys, I'm back. It's our turn. Did I play a land this turn? What is happening? I guess we can go... I had to step away for a second, so I apologize for that. I think, yeah, we'll just pass. So no attacks from us. He's going to bounce a creature back to his hand. That guy grows to a 4/4. I might honestly go with a trade. We could flash this guy in, tap one of his other frogs down. I mean, he does have a ton of card draw. I hope he doesn't have too many counter spells. But yeah, for sure we'll go with Floodpits Drowner. Flash this one in. There is a stick. I don't know if this guy has a protection spell. If this guy has a pump spell, might be a little bit of a blowout. Oh, no pump spell, so we trade for the Mist Breath Elder. That I'm really happy about because that creature, as you guys can see, can grow pretty quickly. And of course he has another one, but it just starts out as a 2/2. We have Fountain Port next turn. That's 5 mana. Ooh, Cliff Top. So this guy's going with a frog deck. That's pretty cool as well. So we got frogs versus like Leviathans and sea creatures. Yeah, Into the Flood Maw, going to be really, really nice. And then I think we're definitely need to draw 2 cards. I mean, this guy's been drawing so many cards. I am a little bit worried about counter spells. So opponent goes to attack us again. I'm fine with that. 3 damage right there. Are we going into our turn? Two, 4. We have 5 mana. When this creature enters, draw a card. I'm okay with that, because again, we're going to bounce everything back to their hand. So, yeah, you go ahead and draw a card. Are you going to play another card? Because then we can counter it and draw 2. That's what I really want to do. So we see green. So it does look like he's looking to play another creature card. Legendary creature. I'm honestly going to go for it right now. If he has a counter spell, then I just really hope we draw our own land, because we do need 6. No counter spell, no stick. Discard 1 card. I mean, all of our cards right now are really good. We need to keep the forest, and we need to keep these 3. I mean, I guess we have 2 Into the Flood Maws, and since we will be bouncing everything back to the opponent right now. All right, this might be a little teensy bit risky. He goes with a Mockingbird. That's the 2nd game in a row that we've seen this one. Enters as that one. We draw a land. 2, 4. That is 6 mana. He is all tapped out. But like I said, you really want to get the combo on the opponent's turn, and ideally when they've spent a bunch of mana. So he had no counter spell last turn because there was no stick at all from 3 steps ahead. Oh, but he gets so much card draw right now. Yeah, I maybe should have gone for it when he was tapped out, because I am worried about counter spells. Valley of the Might Caller, that's fine. We're taking 6 damage right now, but I can live with that. We're only taking 4 damage, so again, I'm fine with that. Bat, big 4. Come on, play a few more creatures. All right. Search for a land, I'm pretty sure. It comes in tapped, right? Put a +1, that's fine. Reveal cards, land. You can put it on the battlefield tapped, yeah. So opponent has 4 mana to work with. It's the 2 blue mana I'm really worried about. There's 1 blue mana tapped. All right, I really don't think this guy is playing any counter spells. Come on, just play another creature, dude. Do it. Oh, he's not going to. So it's going into our turn. We're just going for it right now because we have to. Hope. Beyond hope that there's no counter spells. We can put 2 creatures onto the battlefield. Oh, there is a stick right now, guys. I'm so nervous. Even though I was going to say, I think if he had a counter spell, you play it instantly. No counter spell, so for sure, here comes the Leviathan, here comes Koma, and bounce all of those little frogs back to your hand. And yeah, now it's his end step, so he can't play any more spells. He can cast an instant if he has that, but both of our guys have ward, so he can't pay for the ward cost. Game 2, 2 wins in a row. Let's go. Another really clean game. Serpents coming in clutch, but again, it kind of was the combo of Smuggler's Surprise. But yeah, game one, we saw that you can bounce all attacking creatures, and we had to do it there. This turn, we just held until it was our end step. So again, he cannot cast any creatures or anything. Only spell he can cast is an instant. We're going to bounce all of his creatures back to his hand. These two guys have summoning sickness because they entered just right now, but going into our turn, they lose summoning sickness. We could attack for 14 damage. Koma would get to create 4 of those 3/3 serpent creature tokens. Since we're attacking with 2 creatures, we would be drawing 2 cards because the Summon Leviathans Chapter 2 pops off. Could play a land. Our Tolarian Terror now only costs 3 mana. So again, hold the line, wait for your chance, and just get there. GG. All right, guys, we get to go first, and we have Smuggler Surprise and Eluge, so let's keep it, see if we can put some work in, see if we can get him down early, just to give us some cost reduction. Because, yeah, whenever he enters and whenever he attacks, you get to put a flood counter on an island. Or, sorry, you get to put a flood counter on a land. That land is in an island in addition to its other types, and as long as it has a flood counter on it, the first instant and sorcery spell we cast each turn costs 1 mana less, essentially, which is really, really nice. I guess I'll keep it 3 steps ahead. It's a pretty nice card as well. We have stock up on turn 3. I think we'll look for a land, which we find, so I'll keep it, even though we do need 3 blue pips to play Eluge. So I think we'll just go with a stock up. Really good card right now. And unfortunately, we don't find a land, but I guess I will take the Fountain Port and another stock up. So next turn, we could keep up 3 steps ahead. Maybe try and catch the opponent off guard. Of course, it depends what they play this turn. Final Fantasy creature. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, draw a card. So could be a legend deck. Counterspell is 3 mana, so I think we'll go with that. I think we'll counter the next spell they do, and then we can get Eluge down. And then we can put a flood counter on one of these. A Ketramos, that is a pretty nice spell to counter, so we'll go ahead and counter target spell. You don't need that. Smacks us for 3, which is fine. We can go ahead and drop a Fountain Port. And then, yeah, we'll cast Eluge. And then what's nice is we can put a flood counter on this forest, which will now produce some blue mana for us as well. So we could cast an Into the Flood Maw for free, which is quite nice. Next turn, we have a 2 mana stock up. Goes with the Duress. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll take the Smuggler's Surprise, so I don't think we need to bounce anything yet. And yeah, indeed, he did take the Smuggler's Surprise. Sealed from Existence. I mean, I guess I will go ahead. We could bounce that and just gift them a fish, but it does have Ward 3. Of course, I can't pay the ward cost, so I guess we will just bounce their Venat. So he does take Eluge from us, which is a little bit unfortunate. Opponent does have a lot of cards in hands. We're kind of running out of gas right now. Another Into the Flood Maw, so for sure we'll go with a stock up. And I mean, we take Kiora and Koma, that is for sure. Next turn, I think we can actually play Koma. And this turn right now, we'll go ahead and play a Kiora. Draw 2, then discard 2. We'll drop off a forest. And I guess we'll drop off the other Kiora. Of course, if she removes this one, that would be a little bit unfortunate. But we do have the threshold reached. 7 cards in the graveyard. So when we attack with her next turn, we will be creating this 8/8 Scion of the Deep. Legendary Octopus. Oh, he goes with a Wind Crystal, which is pretty nice. And yeah, we do have 7 mana available. I am a little bit worried that they have a board wipe. Ketramos is indestructible, so, I mean, let's just put some pressure on with the creatures that we have. Definitely go ahead and create the 8/8 Octopus. And then, yeah, we'll just pass the turn. We do have a negate available. So if they do go for a board wipe, which they don't. We'll go ahead and pass. And is it going into our turn? When this artifact enters, exile a non-land permanent. Are we okay with that? I guess we are, yeah. Let's see what he takes. He's going to take Kiora. I mean, I guess we could bounce that back to their hand. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and gift them a fish. We do get a Kiora entering the battlefield again. So again, draw 2 and then discard 2. And then, ooh, Smuggler's Surprise is really nice. Honestly, I think we get rid of a negate. Because we have enough for Smuggler's Surprise, so then we can cast that on their turn. Another land. 6, 7. I mean, this one does come down tapped. We might as well play it. And yeah, we will just attack with everyone. We can decline that because if we create the octopus token, we have to choose one to sacrifice because it is a legendary creature. So we're going to go ahead and decline that one. He does take the trade with Kiora. So he loses a creature right there. We have our octopus. And yeah, we have 7 mana available. So we will cast Koma, who does have trample, and he is an 8/8. And he goes with a Ketramos to draw a card. He can't block yet. Exiles a creature and our graveyard. I don't think we care about our graveyard too much. So that's fine. And honestly, I want to wait until next turn because we'll have 8 mana available. So we're going to create the fish token right now. And then it is going into our turn. Just another land, really not what we want to see right there. But like I said, we do have 8 mana, so we can go ahead and cast a Smuggler's Surprise for 8 mana. So we can mill 4 cards, and then we can put 2 creatures onto the battlefield. Kind of hope we can find that, what's it called? The one from Final Fantasy. Yeah, the summon Leviathan. We'd be able to bounce everything back to their hand. And again, we're going to do this at their end step. Exile a non-land permanent and then transform her whenever she's indestructible. Put a +1 on another creature until you're... And okay, that's fine. So yeah, opponents all tapped out. I really hope we can find that Final Fantasy card. The little fish gains indestructible. Is he going to attack with it? He does. So, I mean, I'm fine with that. And it's our turn. So let's go ahead and mill 2 and then put 2 creatures onto the battlefield and really hope we can find that. We missed it, guys. That is really unfortunate. So, I mean, I guess we'll take these 2. And then we can put these 2 on the battlefield. Another Tolarian Terror. Oh, wait, we can just... When this creature enters, tap a creature down. So we can just tap his Ketramos down. He can't block. And then we have more than enough power to get it done. So GG. All right, guys, we had to go first. Oof. We'll keep it. Only need 1 blue pip for all of our spells anyway, so... Oh, and we actually find another one, which is really nice. So we can flash in the Floodpits Drowner. Go ahead and tap down the opponent's creature if they choose to play one. Discard. Is it a Graveyard Reanimator deck? Who knows? Find another land. Yeah, these ones are only producing blue right now, which is pretty funny. So yeah, if we actually find Eluge, who I actually do want to showcase a little bit, then he's actually going to come down as a 0/0 because none of these are islands. And if you guys remember, his power and toughness is equal to the number of islands we control. So grab the prize. Other artifacts you control get +2/+2 when this vehicle attacks. Return up to 1 target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. Alright, so we might actually need to keep up our... I think I will flash this guy in right now. Just start applying some pressure to the opponent. 3 steps ahead, also really nice. Like I said, I was going to say we might really need to keep our counterspell available in case they look to reanimate anything from the graveyard. And then, of course, when we play some of our counter spells and bounce spells, Lightning Helix to gain 3 life. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I think there's more important spells to counter later on. Ooh, Koma's a really nice draw. As an additional cast, discard then draw 2. Alright, well, we have 5 mana, which is really nice because 3 steps ahead is a counter spell and then a draw 2 for us. Artist Talent. Non-creature spells cost 1 less. Wow, I could not say that. I think we do counter this one. So counter that one. Well, it did cost 2 mana, so if they do have another one, then they can just play it. The draw 2 is pretty nice. Discard 1 card. We can get rid of 1 Into the Flood Maw. Does the opponent have anything for 2 mana? It's just a discard. Negate for us. Could get down a Tolarian Terror, but I think this turn we'll be able to play a few negates, and then he will be a lot cheaper. So that card getting countered for sure. That's actually the win con. So whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen, and so they can do this on our turn as well. So then they try and just drain us for 3 life, because yeah, you see here, as an additional cast, to cast this spell, discard a card. So that is how they win the game, is with this Monument of Endurance, sorry. Stock up, pretty nice draw. Let's go for that one. Let's look for a land. Ooh, Smuggler Surprise, really nice. And I really don't think he plays too many creatures, so I think we'll just take a 3 steps ahead. We'll just keep some counter spells available. And yeah, now Tolarian Terror only costs 3 mana, but I think we'll choose to play him with the Smuggler's Surprise on the opponent's turn. So this turn we have a negate coming up. Push the limit, 7 mana, return all mount and vehicle cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So really nice that we kept up a negate. And yeah, we will go for Smuggler's Surprise at the opponent's end step. Of course, if we see another push the limit, we might have to counter it, because return all mount and vehicle cards. We didn't see too many though. Saw this one, which looked pretty good, and that's also a vehicle. So is this one also? Okay, that one's also a vehicle. We saw that one as well. So pass. Okay, it's going into our turn. So yeah, you are going to have to deal with a Tolarian Terror with Ward 2 and a Koma the World Eater with Ward 4. So good luck with your Lightning Helixes that are in your hand. Don't think it's going to be helping you out too much right now, buddy. Oh, and we even found the Summon Leviathan. But hey, I think we just keep our counter spell up 3 steps ahead. Don't need to do any more. That's fine. So that's 2 Lightning Helixes down. And again, when Koma deals damage to them, we get to create those Serpent tokens. So I think the game's actually over next turn. Yeah, I called it as well. 3 damage. He's going up to 27. That is quite a bit. But hey, you're back down to 14, and we get to create 3 Serpent tokens. So yeah, the game is really over next turn. I don't think you can do much with 2 cards, and we even get to counter one of them. Push the limit. Nice try, buddy. Counter target spell, and let's go ahead and draw 2. You have 1 mana available. Don't think you can do 8 damage. We can get rid of the Floodpits Drowner. So yeah, this opponent just got absolutely cooked. Read him like a fiddle and played him like a book, as they say. It's not rocket surgery, guys. GG. Alright, guys, we get to go first. Don't think we can keep this hand, so that's a mulligan. And I will keep this one. Ship bag 1. Eluge. See a crackland from the opponent, so could well be the landfall deck. The green landfall deck with those little chocobos. No, we see red instead, so interesting. We see green to our 3rd land drop, which is really nice. So I think we'll just pass for right now. Can flash this one in if need be, but we shall see. Starting town. Not sure if that's to help them with a 3rd color potentially, or just get red or green. Yeah, these all produce blue, so we're good. So we'll go ahead and get down Kiora. Next turn we can get down Eluge. And actually we can't, because he will enter as a 0/0. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he enters as a 0/0. Discard 2 cards. I mean, I guess we'll get rid of those. Yeah, because his power and toughness is equal to the number of islands we control. And as you guys can see, these land types aren't any islands. So I actually don't know how this will work. Because when he enters, we get to put a flood counter. Okay, thankfully we did find a hedge mage. So we will be 1 turn behind. Negate, I will keep that. We do see blue all of a sudden as well. So I guess for right now, we'll just attack with Kiora. See if he wants to flash anything in. He just takes the damage. But yeah, next turn we can get down Eluge. And then the turn after that, we will have 6 mana. So we could, of course, go for Smuggler's Surprise. Opponent with the River Regent. It's also a really good blue card. And he drops off a Heritage Reclamation. So I wonder if he's playing the Frost Cliff Siege, I think it's called, where he tries to mill us out. We might see that one come down right now. But again, the opponent just does nothing. We will get down the Fountain Port. And yeah, we'll just attack the opponent. And then, I mean, I will risk it. We'll get down a Eluge. He comes down as a 1/1. Are we going to see a counter spell? I kind of hope not. Because we will get to put a flood counter on one of our lands. And then spells cost 1 blue less mana. We have 1 blue mana open. So then negate will only cost 1 mana. But he does have the negate. Or not the negate. He does have the 3 steps ahead. So that is a little bit unfortunate. We see a Torch the Tower. Interesting. Two, 4. So yeah, we will have 6 mana. Chooses Dragon. Ooh. So we could get down a Koma on their turn. But yeah, for right now, we will just keep attacking the opponent. Bop. Big damage. Next turn, if we draw a land, we can just straight up cast Koma. The spell can't be countered, which is really nice. Opponent looks like he wants to do another combat trick on our turn. It's a Smuggler's Surprise, so we're actually going to get him right now. He countered our spell. We'll go ahead and counter that one and say, you don't need that, buddy. 2, 4, 6. But I mean, he does have 6 mana, 7 cards in hand, so he could well have another one. He could well have another Smuggler's Surprise. It's the Bloomvine Regent. He's going to play that as a 4/5. That's fine. Gain 3 life. Pass. So it's going into our turn. We will definitely cast this guy. Go ahead and tap this one down. And then it's our turn. We do just draw a land, so we're up to 7. I mean, if we go Koma, he will have to answer it. So we're doing 5 damage right now, so he's going down to 9. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know if we go with a Smuggler's Surprise on his turn, I think we'll just play the Koma straight up. And say, go ahead and deal with this one. That guy is still tapped for next turn. Koma does have Ward 4, so if he does have a 2-mana spell, then he can get rid of Koma. Anything more than that, and he's not able to pay the ward cost. Of course, if he drops a land right now, then he has 3 mana, and he could pay the Ward 4. An opponent does pass. We have a negate open, so this might be GG. He might try and flash in some creatures with another Smuggler Surprise, but that negate came in super clutch. There it is, 3 steps ahead to create a copy of that one. So he will gain some life. So I think if we just negate this, we just win the game. He does have 2 mana available though. So does he have his own negate? Deals 3 damage. Exile it instead, but we're still doing 10 damage right there. So yeah, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So we can just say next. And yeah, Koma, a little bit too much to deal with for the opponent, and our counter spells came in at the exact right time. All right, guys, we get to go first. I'll keep this hand. We'll try it out. Have a few early game spells we could go with. Of course, makes the Tolarian Terror a lot cheaper, which is really nice. So we'll get down the Botanical Sanctum. Otherwise, it comes in tapped the longer the game goes on. See Cacophony Scamp. And the gate is really nice. So it could look to counter any pump spells. This creature doesn't untap. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, untap this creature. Alright, so this guy is playing a fling deck, I'm pretty sure. I will take 1 damage for right now. Alright, and it's our turn. Ooh, that's actually really nice. Might be able to catch one of his creatures off guard. I think the green is for some protection. Slick Shot Show Off. Yeah, you can have that one. Even though flying is pretty annoying. And then, we will flash this one in. I don't think it really matters. Tap this guy down. And then trade with this guy. Alright, and it's our turn. Do hit a land drop, which is pretty important. And honestly, I think we need to just keep up our counter spells or Into the Flood Maw. If the opponent doesn't pump his creatures like crazy, then we will be able to draw some cards. We see black all of a sudden. That is for the fling spell, I'm pretty sure. The Cell Sword. What does this one say? Distribute 2+1/+1 counters. So that for sure we are going to negate. And then, do we take 4 damage this turn? Or just 3 damage, because it's just that guy attacking. We'd go down to 14. I'm going to say no. I don't want to take that much damage next turn. He doesn't have enough to cast that one. And now we can actually get down the Tolarian Terror, but we could also keep 3 steps ahead for a counterspell and draw 2. And then Tolarian Terror will only cost 3 mana. Hopefully we find a land with 3 steps ahead. We'd have 6 lands, so then we could get both of these guys down. No, never mind. I can't do math. They cost 5 right now. So now they will only cost 4 each. So yeah, for sure we'll counter the Slick Shot Show Off, so no more flyers. Discard 1 card. Oh, the Summon Leviathan is really nice, so I think we get rid of 1 Tolarian Terror. So yeah, now he costs 4. And for sure... Are we going to see another creature? If we do, we don't. So for right now, I think we just get down the Terror. And then next turn, we can get down the Summon Leviathan. We do have an Into the Flood Maw this turn, which is quite nice. So I think we are slowly starting to turn the table. Opponent slowly running out of gas. They are just in top deck mode. Yeah, so Summon Leviathan going to go really hard right now. Probably doesn't attack with the Cacophony Scamp. If he does have any combat tricks, we can just bounce it with Into the Flood Maw. But yeah, our Tolarian Terror, too powerful right now. It's going into our turn. There is another one, but for sure we'll go with the Summon Leviathan. Go ahead and bounce those creatures back to your hand. And then we can go ahead and attack. Both these guys have Ward 2, so no way he can... I mean, 1 mana kill spell that does 5 damage. I'm not sure about that, but there might be. Not in standard, though. Bat, big 5 damage. So yeah, next turn, he'll have to spend some time casting these creatures again. Yeah, he has the Cactus. This is a fling deck. I know about it. It is actually pretty good, and I think it only contains nothing but commons and uncommons, so... yeah, I might have to brew it myself as well. But yeah, next turn, we're going to be able to draw 2, which is really nice. So, whenever we attack with a Octopus, Kraken, Merfolk, Leviathan, we get to draw a card, so we get double card draw right now, because we're attacking with 2 of them. And then, yeah, opponent's taking 11 damage, so they're going to go down to 4. And if he tries to pump up one of his creatures, pump it up, you got to pump it up to potentially trade with one of our creatures. We'll just bounce it with Into the Flood Maw. Ooh, a Floodpits Drowner. That's an amazing pickup as well. So we'll go next right now. And the opponent, is he going to take all of it? Does this give them haste? It doesn't. Oh, he does take the trade, which is really nice. Is he going to pump it up? This creature doesn't untap during your untap step. Deal 1 damage to something. So we're going down to 15. Ha, Ward 2. That is too funny, my boy. I think the opponent's basically conceding. You know what I'm thinking? This costs 4 mana. We would have 2 mana left over, but we could also cast this, and then Tolarian Terror only costs 3 mana, so then we still would have the Floodpits Drowner available to us, so I think we'll do it like that. Into the Flood Maw, bounce this creature, so next turn he'll have to spend at least 2 mana to cast that one again, and yeah, that is another instant and sorcery going into the graveyard, so Tolarian Terror would cost only 3 mana then, 1, 2, 3, and then we would still have 2 mana available, so we'd have Tolarian Terror back to block as a 5/5, and we would have this Floodpits Drowner that we could flash in when he cast this creature to put a stun counter on it, so we got him. GG. Alright guys, we get to go first, and I do like this hand. Plenty of lands. Can even get some Surveil action on turn 1. Opponent did take a mulligan. That one's a clue. That one's a clue. Got the pipe over there. Got the dagger. Alright, so some Surveil on turn 1. Floodpits Drowner. He has an early turn spell that we could cast. Soul Guide Lantern, so opponent doesn't want us doing any graveyard shenanigans, which we don't use our graveyard, so that's all fine. Well, I say that. At the same time, Tolarian Terror, he does get discounted. So, that is too bad, and for sure we'll take a Koma. Kiora is also kind of useless because she needs 7 cards in the graveyard, so could take another stock up, but I really like having a negate in our hand just because we already have a stock up. Could have also maybe taken a land. Oh, he's getting rid of the lantern right now, so that is kind of nice. And yeah, I will hold for right now. Go ahead and end the turn. Turn 4 might be an important one. And yeah, we don't see anything from the opponent, so could go ahead and draw 2 with 3 steps ahead. I think we'll do that. Go ahead and draw 2. And discard 1 card. We're keeping our land for sure. I guess we could get rid of a Into the Flood Maw. Don't know how many creatures the opponent is playing. It doesn't look like too many. So yeah, we could get a Tolarian Terror down. But I think we will go with stock up, keep 2 mana open for a negate on their turn. Might be pretty important. Might see a counterspell right now. I think we would fight over that. Opponent just scoops it up. Not sure why. Probably also more of a control type deck. And yeah, he just didn't want to fight it out. But we were going to pretty soon start deploying a lot of our creatures, which I think he was hoping to remove. So yeah, anyways, GG. Ooh, guys. I think we keep it. Definitely not a hand I would recommend keeping, but we'll try it. We got Smuggler's Surprise. Hope we can find an Eluge along the way. Hope we can find an Eluge along the way. That's the one card we kind of need to showcase. Oh, and it looks like we're maybe against a Azorius control player as well, so this one might be a little bit rough. Kiora's a nice draw. Do they have a counter spell? No, so we get to draw 2, then discard 2. Into the Flood Maw can go, because I know for sure they aren't playing any more creatures. And then the question is, what do we drop off? I guess the Floodpits Drowner. Again, I don't think he has any creatures that we really need to tap down. Negate is a really nice draw, so smack the opponent, pass the turn. When this enchantment enters, draw a card, so he's going to have quite a bit of card draw. Opponent does only have 1 blue, so they might be hurting for blue a little bit. Goes for a Sheltered by Ghosts. I think we can counter that one. Does he have his own counter spell? No, he does not. Does he have another Sheltered by Ghosts? He does. Okay. And he gets a card draw off that. 2/4. Okay, this is a pretty nice draw. Hopefully we can find a land off the top. We do, but it does come in tapped, so I think we'll bin it for now. And I really hope we can find an untapped land, because then we would have 6 mana, so we could go for Smuggler's Surprise. But again, I would not be surprised if this guy is playing some counter spells of his own. All right, it's our turn. Oh, Koma is a really nice draw, but again, we don't have the mana for it, so we will just play the Terror. Could see a 3 steps ahead come out. It's just another entity tracker. I'm fine with that. Now, if he has a Sheltered by Ghosts, he will have to pay 2 mana to target our guy. And I mean, what's the chance that he has another one? Can you believe it, guys? 3 Sheltered by Ghosts in the top quarter of his deck. I mean, it's definitely a skill issue. That is definitely a skill issue. Oh, and he did find another blue source. Oh, but we found a land. That is amazing. So we'll go for Smuggler's Surprise. Just rip it right away. And please don't have a counter spell. Oh, let's absolutely go. Cook this guy. Bounce those creatures back to his hand. You lose your Sheltered by Ghosts. But I would not be surprised if we see a board wipe. This is a draw 2, discard 2. I think I'll get rid of these 2. If he doesn't have a board wipe this turn, then the next turn that we untap 3 steps ahead could be a really nice counter spell. But is it just a Sunfall? Is it just a Sunfall? Koma can't really target him. Oh, it's just an ossification. Yeah, you can't really target too many of our creatures. If you go for Koma, you are all tapped out, and then we will have a counterspell available. Kiora gets to create the 8/8 octopus, so I think we're sitting pretty. We get a ton of card draw off of this. Into the Flood Maw, also pretty nice. But yeah, we're going to be drawing 3 cards right now, and we get to create that octopus. Definitely take action. Card draw, 3 steps, or a stock up, also really, really nice. Opponent down to 15. We haven't played a land for turn. 1, 2, 3. How much do we need for this? Counter target spell, just 3. And we have 3 mana available, so let's go for a stock up. Ooh. I guess we'll take a land, and I guess another Kiora. And then we will play the Hedge Maze, see what's on top. I will take a Koma. That spell can't be countered. And then, yeah, we end the turn. Ward coming in really, really clutch there as well. Especially on Koma. Ward 4, that is a lot. So, opponent has a full grip of cards in hand, but I think they might be in a little bit of trouble. Whenever an enchantment, create a Glimmer token, so I don't think he's playing too much removal. Enchantments cost 1 less. I think we let him have that one. Create the Glimmer token. And the Enduring Innocence, that one we're countering for sure. Counter target spell. That one you don't need, buddy. That one you do not need. We get a bunch of card draw right now. We do lose that guy, which is a little bit unfortunate. Into the Flood Maw to bounce this guy, and then he just has 2 blockers. Could also bounce the token, and then he's, I think, no, he's not forced to sacrifice both of these. So let's just go ahead and attack right now. See what he does. I want to see what happens when we take action, but I'm pretty sure it's a legendary creature. So yeah, choose one of them to keep. The others will go to the graveyard. So we're keeping the attack in one, of course. And yeah, we don't have any counter spells right now. Maybe we'll draw one. Tolarian Terror only costs 2 mana. So yeah, Into the Flood Maw. Kiora trades with everyone. These 2 trade with everyone. If we bounce this one back, I think we hold on for now. It looks like he wants to flash something in. Shard Mage's Rescue. Okay, yeah, so for sure we're bouncing that one. So this was a little bit of a blowout. We got him right there. You lose your Shard Mage Rescue. You lose that creature. And now you just have 2 little creatures. You probably, yeah, go to block Kiora. Bap, bap, bap. Opponent down to 10. And he just has 3 cards in hand. I'm a little tiny bit worried about a mass board wipe, but let's just get down Koma. That thing has trample, and he is 8 power. We know he just has 3 creatures in his hand. And yeah, we have some pretty powerful bodies on the board. Plays the Glimmer. Enchantments cost 1 less, but he's all out of blue mana, and we drew a Into the Flood Maw. That's pretty nice. So, again, I think, well, he might have a Shard Mage Rescue. So, again, let's just go to attack steps. And now he just goes to blockers. Are we fine with this? I think we're fine with this. Oh, he had to block the Tolarian Terror as well. I also can't do math. Math is for blockers, as they say, so that's why I wasn't concerned about it. But yeah, opponent definitely had to block our Tolarian Terror as well. So yeah, we got there in the end. Luckily, this guy wasn't playing too many counter spells. And again, we just see how nice the Summon Leviathan is. And I think we actually got it down with the Smuggler's Surprise. I mean, it happened quite a few turns ago. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we got down our Koma underneath here and the summon Leviathan. That bounced everything, and from there, yeah, we could turn the tables. And I think they gained quite a bit of life. I think they were 29 or something. So really good game. GG. All right, guys, the opponent goes first. 2 lands is a little bit risky, but I really want to try and showcase Eluge. I thought he would have been putting in a little bit more work today, but it really has been our combo of the Smuggler Surprise and Koma and the Leviathan that have been putting in so much work, which I'm surprised about. I didn't know that we'd be able to get it so often today. But yeah, I've been having a ton of fun with this deck, actually. Really, really fun deck, so... But yeah, I want to try and get Eluge to work, and I know he's not the best card. I almost never ever see him played. I can probably count on one hand how many times I've actually seen him played against me, so I think that probably also tells you guys as well. Really not the best card, especially for Mythic. And I think the one thing that's a little bit sad about him is put a flood counter on a land we control, and the first instant and sorcery spell you cast costs 1 less to cast, which is really, really good. But if the opponent removes this guy, then you don't get that discount anymore, which is a little bit too bad. I will keep a stock up. That is a really nice card to have. But yeah, next turn, we can get down Eluge. Opponent a little bit slower. They're looking to ramp, though, so they might be Smuggler Surprise themselves. They hit us with their own stock up. And I mean, yeah, right now he's only coming down as a 1/1. See the UFO, that thing can add extra lands, so maybe could even be an Ugin deck. Might be green ramp into Ugin. But yeah, we'll get down Eluge. Go ahead and turn this one into an island. So we grow this guy to a 2/2. And look, now Into the Flood Maw cost 0 mana. That's pretty funny. See a Fabled Passage. That one's going to tap to add a land. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So could well be an Ugin coming down right now. Could well be an Ugin, and I think it is. Okay, well, he doesn't have enough mana for that now. Next spell can't be countered, even though we have no mana. Deals 2 damage. Are you kidding me? Alright, that is a little bit unfortunate because we are going to lose our Eluge right now. He's a little bit too weak, but hey, we will at least cast a free Into the Flood Maw. Bounce that creature. And yeah, you guys see the discount goes away, which is pretty sad, honestly. Let's go. Oh, we found another one. I think we have to take Smuggler Surprise, though, and a land. And then 2, 4, 5. I mean, this thing can tap to add mana, right? Yeah, so this guy just has so much mana to work with. Next spell can't be countered. I'm okay with that. Create that meteorite that deals 2 damage to something. Oh, I'm pretty sure what he's going to do is try and hit us with the Doppelgang. He's going to go for a Doppelgang. I already know that. The UFO. So... And he's just going to create a ton of copies of the meteorite and then just launch a bunch of fireballs right at our face. That's what this guy's game plan is. I could have sworn I thought I had a Koma, but I guess I didn't take him. There's Kiora. That's pretty nice. Draw 2, then discard 2. There is a Koma. We haven't played a land for this turn. Honestly, I think we get rid of a stock up. So next turn we can go with the Smuggler Surprise. Fortunately, we don't have the Summon Leviathan. But yeah, opponent just going to put a land on the battlefield, and I'm pretty sure we see a Doppelgang right now. Well, he really likes to make the next spell uncounterable. Which, I mean, I don't blame him. That is a really nice land. Yeah, look, he's targeting a bunch of things, so... here comes Doppelgang. I knew it, yeah. 3 copies of each, so he is just going to launch a ton of fireballs right to our face. 6 times 2, and then those all create a bunch of copies, so... Yeah, opponent got us. I could, yeah, kind of see that he was playing that when I saw Roxanne, and also just with the ramp. But yeah, this guy, Doppelgang's a pretty cool card as well. Create X amount of copies of something. As long as it's not legendary, I believe. Oh, you can't even create copies of legendary. It's just, yeah, the legend rule goes into effect. So, yeah, that's the opponent's deck. I mean, he's just going to ping us for 2. He's kind of taking forever to do it, so we'll just go to the next game. All right, guys, we either go first, and we do have an Eluge in our hand. I really want to showcase this card. Because honestly, he has been a little bit underwhelming, which is sad. But I mean, yeah, you guys probably never see this card in standard anyway. So I think that does just go to show that, yeah, he just really isn't the best. Really isn't the best. 3 pips of blue mana is also a pretty hefty requirement. Luckily, we do hit it with that one. So next turn, I guess we could get down to Kiora. Oh, opponent is... We're actually taking damage for drawing cards, so we will actually bounce that guy right away, and then we will for sure get down Kiora. Summon Leviathan's nice. We have to discard 2 cards. We get rid of the land. I mean, we've won so often with the Summon Leviathan and the... Koma the World Eater. I think this game I'm gonna force it. I'm gonna try and get a win with Eluge. Of course, does make our spells cheaper, so then negate costs 1 mana, stock up costs 2 mana, then 3 steps ahead will cost a bit less as well, so he comes down as a 2/2 right now. And then we can turn the Fountain Port into a island. And then, I mean, I will go ahead and attack with Kiora. Does he want to take the trade? I don't think so. I think he just wants us to draw a bunch of cards. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you deal 1 damage to them. So this is like a Shieldred Light. He does have First Strike. 7 cards in hand. This dude just eats a removal spell. Aye. Yeah, Eluge just is not a good card, guys. He is just not a good card. Land is pretty nice. For sure, I'll play it. 5 is the magical number for counterspell and draw 2, even though... Do we really want to be drawing a ton of cards? Stock up. I think we'll go with a stock up for sure. And yeah, we'll take Koma. Let's see. 3. I guess a land, even though Into the Flood Maw could also be nice as well. We'll take those 2. And then yeah, we have a negate available and a Into the Flood Maw. Opponent is missing a few land drops. That guy costs 2 red. Human Assassin. A Braid deals 3 damage. We could negate that one. I think we do it. I think we go ahead, hit them with the negate. 1 mana to work with. 2, 4, 5. Kind of hope we hit a land drop, actually. And then 3 steps ahead to draw 2. Alright, this guy just has a bunch of kill spells. Pretty annoying, but I think we'll be able to get him. We will go ahead and draw. Miss the land drop, which does suck a little bit, but I mean, we could get down the Terror. Let's do it. We'll get down the Terror. And then we do have an Into the Flood Maw available. I mean, this guy is a 5/5, so he is on a 3-turn clock. And we can, of course, bounce something. He can't pay the ward cost with these spells that only do like 2 or 3 damage, because he would need 2 of them. And of course, you need to pay the ward cost multiple times. Whenever this creature attacks, you may pay, then a target creature can't block. So I guess he's going to do that right now. But then we can bounce that guy, and then we can keep up 3 steps ahead. Oh, it's whenever this creature attacks. So he needs that creature to attack. So yeah, for right now, we are for sure just going to bounce this, the Needlehead back to their hand. It's their end step, so they can't cast any spells right now, as long as it's not an instant. Ooh, Smuggler Surprise. That might also be able to catch them off guard as well, even though we would just be putting 1 creature on the battlefield. And yeah, opponent is on a 3-turn clock. I'm really not too scared of a 1/1. And we will for sure go with the negate. Or sorry, not the negate. We'll go the 3 steps ahead to counter probably this guy. This guy is missing a lot of land drops, but I don't think he's playing too many expensive cards. I wanted to say, oh, is he just doing a full Foundations deck? But this guy... Oh! I meant to counter that one. Alright, that is my mistake a little bit. Alright, not even a little bit. That's just full on my mistake. Alright, well, we will... Oh, wait, oh, no, we don't have... I was going to say, we don't have enough for that. Yeah, 100%... 110% should have... countered that guy, drawn 2 cards there. Don't really mind because we will get him. All right, the reason why I discarded the land is because it comes in tapped. We have 5 lands. We really need an untapped land, so we are just going to mill 4 cards. Oh, and I don't even have enough to play that, guys. I'm playing so poorly right now. We need an untapped land. Oh. All right, well, we can get the Terror down, and then we can hold them back. Hold them back. Next turn we have lethal. I mean, he could have a bunch of burn spells that go right to our face. Yeah, I played that really poorly. I'm sorry, guys. Whenever you attack, target creature gets +1 and gains menace until the end of the turn. That's fine. Because he is probably not going to attack with anyone. And he's all tapped out. Okay, yeah, I was going to say that would be a weird one. All right, Smuggler Surprise. Go and find us a Summon Leviathan and a land, please. Oh, but it comes in tapped. Oh my gosh. We need to find an untapped land. Dude, I'm getting absolutely cooked by my deck right now. We can create the fish token. Target creature can't block. How much damage can he deal next turn? And gains menace. Alright, that's fine. No attacks. End the turn. Alright, we'll get him next turn. I played really poorly. I was just trying to talk to you guys. He could, of course, have some burn spells as well. We did see a Burst Lightning earlier that can deal 4 damage to us. Okay, he's more or less all tapped out. Alright, it's fine. We're going to survive this, yeah? We are going to survive this because he's just attacking with that guy. It gains +1 and menace and another +1 and menace. But, I mean, we do have 2 creatures to block with, so... Oh, he can make his own creature unblockable. Okay. If you do target creature... Okay, no, target creature can't block, so... yeah, I'm not 100% sure the guy knows how that card works. He, of course, couldn't pay the ward cost, so maybe he doesn't know how it works. He just wants to pay it. All right. Draw a card, take 1 damage. This mono red player nearly has as many lands as we do, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Go with the, again, for I don't know how many times in the videos today, Koma plus summon Leviathan. Go ahead and bounce all of your creatures back to your hand and finish you off. GG, we got there in the end. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to the post-game wrap. Today we looked at a subscriber-requested video from Link. He said, yo, I love sea creatures. Can you build a deck like that? And I said, for sure I can. And I actually had a lot of fun building this deck, and I had a lot of fun playing this deck, and I actually had quite a bit of success playing this deck as well. You guys saw from the games. We won a lot of them, honestly, with our combo of Koma the World Eater into Summon Leviathan, getting them out on the opponent's turn with Smuggler Surprise. That combo worked surprisingly well, and we were able to hit it quite a bit, even though we only have 2 copies of Koma and only 3 copies of the Summon Leviathan. So that was a lot of fun, and it worked really, really well. It's basically a game ender because, yeah, Smuggler Surprise on your opponent's turn. These creatures come in. Summon Leviathan, of course, bounces everyone back to your opponent's hand. They both have Ward 2, so pretty hard to target him. Koma, of course, has Ward 4, nearly impossible to target. I think maybe in one game the opponent did exile one of our Komas, but he spent literally all his mana to do that. And then, yeah, when you go into your turn, these creatures don't have Summoning Sickness then, and yeah, you can attack in for quite a bit of damage. Koma, of course, gets to create those Serpent tokens as well, so I think the game's essentially over. So that combo, I absolutely loved it, and yeah, you know, a Leviathan and a Serpent fits the sea theme very, very well. Tolarian Terror, I thought this guy was rotating. He's in the Foundation set, so he's here for another 5 years. And this guy, also really, really good, 5/5 with Ward 2. Oftentimes you can get his cost down by quite a bit. I think I said in the deck intro you can cast him for 2 or 3. I think more often than not when we did cast him, we were casting him more for the 3 or 4 mana, just because we do play some instants and sorceries into the Flood Maw, 3 steps ahead, negate, and stock up. So we definitely play some instants and sorceries. It's like a medium package, but it's not a super, super heavy package where, you know, we're playing a ton of instants and sorceries, whether that be more counter spell or card draw. So, but yeah, even if you have to get him down with Smuggler Surprise, I mean, a 5/5 with Ward 2 is pretty good as well. I think we saw in that last game, actually, that it was actually the Tolarian Terror that got us over the finish line, even though we did use the Smuggler Surprise with a Summon Leviathan to bounce all of the opponent's creatures. So yeah, Tolarian Terror, and this dude is a common, really good card to craft. If you're thinking of some cards to craft in blue, for sure, he can fit into some other decks as well. And then, yeah, Kiora, the Rising Tide, legendary creature, Merfolk Noble. When she enters, you get to draw 2 and then discard 2. The discard 2 can be kind of tricky sometimes. You really need to think which cards you want to discard. And she has the Threshold ability where whenever she attacks, if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you get to create the Scion of the Deep. It's a legendary octopus that is an 8/8, so an absolute unit. And we were able to pull that off a decent amount of the time when we actually play Kiora and the opponents don't remove her right away. So it's not impossible to get that done. And yeah, an 8/8 octopus, pretty hard for opponents to attack through. And then finally the Floodpits Drowner for 2 mana. This is also a merfolk. Looks kind of like a serpent to me as well. But yeah, he has flash, so you can cast it on the opponent's turn. He has vigilance, so he never taps down, which is pretty nice. And when he enters, you get to tap down a creature that the opponent controls and put a stun counter on them. And I think it was actually in the very, very first game, we were able to flash this guy in. Oh no, we played it on our turn, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, we played him to tap down an opponent's creature, so they didn't have any blockers. And then I think we could finish them off with a Koma or a Tolarian Terror, something like that. So this guy also fits well in the deck. The one creature that I am just so sad about is Eluge, the Shoreless Sea, for 4 mana. This elemental fish, his power and toughness is equal to the number of islands we control. And then you get to put a flood counter on any land we control. That land becomes an island in addition to its other types, so that does work quite nicely with the Botanical Sanctum. Again, it's not an island. Restless Vinestalk, it's not an island. Fountain Port, of course, it's not an island. Same with the Willow Rush Verge, not an island. All of these lands, with the exception of Fountain Port, do produce blue and green for us, which is nice. But yeah, putting a flood counter on them will make it an island, so that will increase his power and toughness. But man, this guy, opponents just remove him. And you honestly need him to stay on the battlefield for quite a few turns, just so you can really put a lot of flood counters on the lands you control. And then, so I do love the text. The first instant and sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 1 blue mana less to cast for each land you control with a flood counter. So you can get quite a few of your spells to cost 0 mana, which is amazing. But yeah, this guy has to stay on the battlefield, which I think is a little bit sad, and I don't see why it says that, though, because it says this dude's power and toughness is equal to the islands you control. Okay, sure. And whenever he attacks or enters, put a flood counter on an island you control. And then it just says the first instant and sorcery spell you cast costs 1 less to cast each turn with a flood counter on it. So if the opponents remove this dude, the lands still have a flood counter on them. So I don't know why you lose that ability then of spells being cheaper. Then he might be too busted. But as he is right now, 4 mana, 3 blue pips, which is a little bit tricky to achieve sometimes. I think in one of the games I tried to get him out, I had 2 islands, a forest, and a fountain port. So that is 4 mana right there, but it's not the 3 pips of blue. So yeah, maybe if you just permanently got that effect, he might be too busted then. But I mean, as he is right now, he just is not a good card. And I think I said in one of the games, maybe I lost that one, so maybe it won't be shown, but I can, no joke, on one hand, count the amount of times I have seen this guy played against me, and I don't even need all 5 fingers. I think it has honestly been 2 or maybe 3 times that I've seen this guy played against me. So I just don't think he's a very good card, and he is mythic on top of that, so that is a bummer. So I think if you want to actually improve this deck, just get this guy out of there, cut all 3 copies of him. You don't need him in your deck. And then you have 3 extra copies to work with. I would honestly go up 2 copies of Koma and another copy of the Summon Leviathan. Koma is legendary, so you could maybe go up 1 copy of Koma, 1 copy of the Summon Leviathan, and 1 copy of Smuggler's Surprise, just to make sure that you can hit that combo more reliably. And I think that deck will do even better for you guys as well. So, but yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I think I've been rambling long enough. Those games were a lot of fun, so huge shout out to Link for the deck suggestion. And yeah, he just said, hey, I love sea creatures. Can you build a sea creature deck? And I was like, I got you, fam. So yeah, if you guys made it this far into the video, please leave a thumbs up and a comment down below. And yeah, you guys leave some suggestions of any decks that you like to see. And it can be something vague, like, hey, I just like sea creatures. Can you make a sea creature deck? But if there's a specific card you guys want to see, just say the card and I'll make the deck for you guys. You could even say, hey, you know, can you make I love Eluge the Shoreless Sea. Can you make a deck with him? And I mean, I guess I'll do it for you guys. So, but yeah, I'm going to end it like I always end it. I love you guys. Peace out.